So you want to learn how to grab one of these guys without a snake hook. And you might be thinking, I started with the animal that's friendly, right? In this case, I am not. This guy is called the Grinch, okay? Because he's a grumpy ass. I've had him since he's a baby and he's still grumpy, and that's fine. I personally don't like using snake hooks. I also don't have snake hooks because I've lost them or I've broken them. Okay? Remember, guys, when you go to grab them, you don't want to come off as a predator. So you don't want to come from above. You always want to approach from underneath. Unless they're super chill, then you can be like a claw machine and you can just both hands scoop them, spread them, and they'll slide right off that stick. Not saying that one from experience or anything, but zucchini's super chill and kind of just let it happen. On today's episode, I'm not going to force him to get off, right? But I'm just going to show you what I typically would like to do. So keep in mind there, he's pretty accustomed to me. Like I can stick my hand in there, usually not have any issues. So when I start getting his personal bubble, that's when he starts having a little attitude. It's not always guaranteed, but sometimes he'll throw a fit. Like I was saying, you want to go from underneath, reach up, and then you just gently put your hand on them, and then they'll typically do like a false strike, okay? It's not always guaranteed, but they'll lunge forward. It's like a scare tactic. They're hoping that you'll leave them alone. So keep in mind when you do go from underneath, I did just touch him. I messed up my video. But sometimes they do lunge, like I was saying. But when they do lunge, you can use that as the opportunity to kind of guide their head, right? You want to be careful with their head at the same time because obviously you don't want to get bit and you don't want to force them. So when your hand is underneath, right? Because you'll be using both hands. I'm obviously using one hand to hold the camera and the other hand to touch him, which he's not very happy about. The hand that's underneath him is the hand you're going to use to motivate him to get off the stick. The other hand is the hand that you're going to guide his head. You want to make sure you're guiding his head in the whole process. And the reason I say you want to guide his head during the process is because he'll go around these sticks. He'll wrap up around everything else and make it a pain in the ass to get off, okay? At the same time, you want to make sure his tail is not wrapping up around anything else either. Because once you get them started guiding, they'll start unraveling themselves. It's not guaranteed. They'll typically leave the last 2 to 3 inches of their body wrapped around the stick. I'm not going to even lie. I wasn't even paying attention and I just saw the movement happen really quick and I may have panicked a little bit. And that's my bad. You don't want to panic. You don't want to do those fast jerking motions. And that's my bad. You just need to embrace it. If they're going to get bit, let them bite you. Don't do that jerky motion. I wasn't paying attention, so I wasn't ready for it. And that is my bad. And I will admit that. Because if they do grab onto you, the last thing you need to do is a jerking motion when they have fragile spines. Okay? Just try to embrace it. It's really hard to. I know that. I understand that. But do your best not to jerk too hard. And plus their teeth are inside you, and the last thing you need to do is jerk. But going back to what I said, now that I have my train of thought back, the last few inches there of the tail, it's going to be wrapped around, okay? So what you want to do is keep in mind it's super delicate, and you don't want to injure, especially when they're like little babies. Like babies are super delicate, so you have to be really cautious. That's why you don't want to do the jerking motion. If they bite you as a baby, it doesn't hurt that bad. When they get bigger, you start feeling it. I've had that guy bite me in the joint of my fingers. Felt it because, he did a little twisting motion in the process, which really hurt. Thank you. I keep getting sidetracked. This last few inches, right? Like I said, they're delicate. So what I typically like to do is I just gently rub it, okay? Which will make them unravel it themselves. You don't have to force it off. You don't have to grab it. If you gently rub it, they'll just unravel themselves, okay? And when they do finally let go, keep in mind you're using both hands. One hand is guiding their face. The other hand is going to hold on to that back end of their tail. So when they let go, their body's going to semi-drop, but you're going to be there to catch it. And then you can just guide them out, okay? Because you don't want them raveling around every fucking stick in there, because then you have to repeat the whole process. Now that the Grinch is being moody, he's made it very clear that he's moody. I'm going to prove to you the hand thing still works, right? You just stick your hand in there. He might bite you. It's part of the deal, but it's usually like a one done. They'll threaten a bite, and then they'll give up after that, okay? What's up, little dude? Yeah, I know. And this whole time he's been striking at me. See, I have my face on his thumb. I have my thumb on his face. But yeah, once you get them there, you can just start guiding them. You just take your fingers and gently push him up. See how I'm pushing him up? Then I take my other hand, and I gently grab him, just like that. And then you use your other hand to start guiding him off. That's all you have to do. But there you go. There's an example. But there you go. Gives you a general idea how to grab these guys. He's currently not happy. I'm going to let him go back to doing whatever he was doing. I don't need to pull him out. I don't need to harass him anymore. I was just showing you guys how I grab them, even when they're moody. I still just go for it. So when you're expecting the bite, you can prepare for the bite. You're less likely to react to said bite. Embrace it. Remember, the bite might hurt you, but the jerking's going to hurt them. So don't react when they bite you, which is really hard to do. Just keep that in mind. Do your best. It happens. It is what it is.